What is going on, everybody? Depraved Slash here. We are back with another music reaction. I'm Depraved.
I'm Hellcat.
Together we are
HellaDepraved.
This is going to make a bunch of people that probably feel we've neglected them happy.
Oh.
We are now going to cover the Melanie Martinez After School EP.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
It's been out almost a year.
I know, but you had done the K through 12, and then I moved out here, and then we were going to do... Didn't we cover one of these? One song?
It had a video, yeah.
Yeah.
The Bakery.
And then we were waiting to see if she was going to do any more music videos.
I think she did one or two.
And then it just... Everything else.
Life happened, Joe.
Yeah.
Life happens.
So many artists to cover, so little time.
But yeah, so this is my album of choice, so we're going to cover all these over the next week or so.
I love her little weirdness.
Me too.
The teeth on the desk.
She's one of my favorite little weirdos.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Yes.
Cool.
So, without further ado, we are going to react to this as if you guys have already seen it or heard it.
Probably have.
If not, click the link in the description below. Hop on over, watch the video, leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment. Let them know we sent you, then come on back. And we say that because we're a commentary, reaction, comedy breakdown channel.
Right.
We are going to pause for one, if not all of the above.
Right.
One thing I will say Melanie Martinez does is she usually has a hidden meaning in every song.
Right. Well, plus some pretty cool lyrics.
Right.
So there is normally something to talk about.
True. If you are unfamiliar with Melanie Martinez, I personally reacted to the entirety of K through 12, and then her and I together went through and reviewed the entirety of Crybaby.
And I think
as well as a few other...
Yeah, I've done a few scattered things with you as well, of hers, so... They are there.
So, if you want all things greatness that is Melanie Martinez, they're here.
And will be soon.
And will be more here.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, it is time to slash it up and break it down. This is Melanie Martinez with Notebook.
I love all of the different modes of transportation in kids' drawings.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Well, and you can see the hot air balloon and like the paper planes. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, just super cool. Old school, rotary start planes.
Right.
So cool.
All right, let's get it.
So she's taking her boy toy to school.
Maybe.
She's at least pointing out.
So one of two things is happening here. This is either her journal.
Okay. Okay.
Or it's a notebook that they pass back and forth in between classes.
That's what I was thinking.
Writing each other notes. And the only reason that even comes to mind, because I used to have one of those with a girl in high school.
I never did it with like someone of the opposite sex, but I actually still have the notebooks that my girlfriends and I passed between classes back and forth.
The girl that I used to pass the notebook back and forth with, she was dating... We were both band geeks.
Okay.
But she was dating one of the star football players.
Good for her,
and
I think.
Then I was this close to taking her.
Okay.
And then I felt bad, so I stopped.
Probably a good thing.
Probably.
Just from a moral perspective.
Well, he was much bigger than I was.
From your own personal safety standpoint,
much,
too.
Much bigger than I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, but it does sound like she's. I mean,
no, morally, I felt like shit. It was.
Yeah, she said, take this down. So it does sound like she's actually talking to someone.
Right.
So, and telling him, look, things wouldn't be so bad if you didn't think you were always correct. Which I've known people like that.
Baby boy, I think it's time.
Although if it is one of those things where she's writing notes back and forth between the notebook, this would have been a great time to have another guy sing the second verse like he's responding to her.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Back and forth would be nice.
Yeah.
Time you learned a thing or two, but how to keep a girl like me with you. Time you learned how to switch it up. I'm tired of red until you just get up. Cause I didn't sign up for this. Acting like your time's more valuable. When I sacrifice blood for you, I sacrifice blood. Write this shit in your notebook, baby. Since you never wrote love letters to me. Don't forget all the things I've taught you. You'll need it for someone who isn't me, ain't me. What's the
That is the thing that I've heard mentioned multiple times, and I've thought about it before. You know what really fucking sucks about breaking up with someone is knowing that they will probably take all the time or all of the lessons that you spent so much fucking time trying to reinforce with them onto the next conquest. It doesn't mean that they're going to get it right.
It works both ways.
It does. That's why I said I've heard of this before. It's never been something that's been like a thought process of mine that I have felt bitter about it, for sure, because again, it works both ways. I've certainly...
Like, I've changed for the better with every relationship.
Right. Honestly, a lot of times it's me seeing their actions and being like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the person that I was responding to that. That's my personal experience.
No, I have changed much more for the better with every relationship. Like, a prime example. You've been with me now for 1.5 years.
Right.
My very first relationship, I was extremely manipulative. Probably quite literally mentally abusive.
Mm-hmm.
A jerk.
Right.
Not that those two things didn't already point that out.
Right, right.
But it's one of those things where, like, so the manipulative thing, I was like that with everyone.
Right.
I was really good when I was late teens at convincing people to do things that I wanted them to do. I probably could have been the next, Manson.
Definitely white collar con men, at least.
Right. But after that initial that specific breakup, going into the next relationship, which ended up being with my ex-wife, I didn't do any of that.
Right.
Because I realized probably was not in my favor.
Right. But, I mean, that was my personal experience, is what I'm saying. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't things that I said. And that did make me a better person, by the way. Because I saw what they did to me.
Right.
And knew that at least some of it was my reaction to it or stuff that I was doing. So I changed what I was doing. Because, A, I didn't like being that person, always responding a certain way. And I was looking for somebody different than the last person. But I also changed what I hated about me. And there was certainly stuff like I wasn't particularly manipulative in my relationships. Like other relationships, sure, but not like romantic ones. But I was a bit of a doormat. But it was also very hard for me to get who I was across to anybody.
Right.
And I always felt like when I opened up, they were like, what? You're weird. Yeah, like, seriously.
She is weird. But I love that about
it would be really hard for you to manipulate me, by the way.
I would never try to.
No, I know, but it would be very hard considering.
You are me.
Yeah.
And I am you.
Yeah.
We are one and the same.
Like, we have the same thoughts at the same time and same responses to shit. So you would try and I'd just be like, you do realize you're doing what I wanted you to do already.
But and just for them, that is why I pointed out we've been together this long. It's not who I am anymore. That's who I was when I was a teenager.
Right.
And then through most of my 20s and marriage, I was just angry.
Mm-hmm.
I eventually lost that. Now, that had nothing to do with me changing after the relationship. That was more of a series of life events that taught me to slow the fuck down.
But I think we all do. Although there are some people and definitely some situations, and I get it. I've kind of been in the place before, but I've been friends with people who have been like, I hate that I wasted all of this time teaching this person these things that they're going to take on to the next person. My personal opinion on it has always been like, I hate that I've wasted so much time with that person. It's not like the lessons or anything that I gave him. I just hate that I saw all the signs and still didn't get the fuck out. And honestly, the people I was with were going to keep doing what they were doing and weren't going to take any of that shit with them anyway, because I was with complete assholes. So there is that.
You were with teenage me's.
No. Teenage yous, if you had been, I don't know. Like, more abusive than just, yeah. Jerk doesn't cover it.
For someone who isn't me, ain't me. What's the point of your I love yous when they don't hold any weight? You touch your computer much more than you have ever touched me. Every night you come back home, then you just go.
Now, do you think he's a computer gamer?
Probably.
Yeah.
Now, that is the hardest thing about being a gamer.
You know what? Even computer geeks, even, if they're taking IT people taking apart computers, whatever, I probably touched books more than I touched anyone.
Not me.
Until I met you. But yeah, I mean, fondling books is good for the soul.
Anyways, so...
It's a proper brain fuck. Come on now.
That is...
I know, I'm fired.
You know how hard it is to not crack jokes here? When she's saying
I'm doing
things
it
like
for
brain
you.
fuck. No, so that is probably the hardest thing about being a gamer in my history of life. Is, again, until I have been pretty much just shit on by everyone I've been with for being a gamer. Now, granted, I also used to play video games a hell of a lot more than I do now.
Yeah, but you were even playing them, like, way more when we first met. I mean, it's not that you don't have the option to, because I don't shit on you, but I'm also a complete book nerd. Right. So, like, you game, I read. True. It's just what it is.
But yeah, I have, I've just been, every person, I wish you stopped playing video games. You play video games too much. I do it to get away from you.
Well, it does get you away from nagging, but it ends up with...
More nagging.
Yeah. It's kind of a cyclical thing, one could say. But yeah, the whole, why bother saying I love you if you don't mean it? Like, if it doesn't hold any weight, like, it's just words, why... Words. Right? I think we've all done that, though. It's either become habit with that person, or you just don't want to admit that it's not there.
Right.
But I'm definitely one of those people that I pick up on the vibe. I know as soon as it becomes empty, I'm like, oh.
Is that your O face?
Oh.
Your O
The
face.
epiphany, like, oh, fuck this shit, I'm out. Yeah.
Anyway, you touch your computer much more than you have ever touched me. Every night you come back home, then you just...
I mean, you could touch him while he's touching the computer. I mean, there are fun things that could be had.
I mean, it's an option.
Never touched me. Every night you come back home, then you just go right to sleep, laying next to just
Tired.
a friend who occasionally fucks me. Time you know just how I feel.
What?
I don't understand guys like this.
Okay.
Because she says laying next to a friend who occasionally fucks me. So it sounds like she's also sex deprived, like she wants it more.
Right.
I have never in my life, other than one time because of a huge headache I had, said no.
It honestly sounds like there's just not the interest level there.
Right. But I'm just saying, in any relationship, like, I don't know. I've heard guys be like, I've been too, I'm too tired. I've been working on it. I have never been like, oh, I'm too tired. Fuck that. I will forego sleep for 15, 20 minutes. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I've definitely been the person that's like, But, as soon as there are mental problems for me in the relationship, I have no sex drive. It's like a switch just gets hit, and I'm like, nope. Like, and normally that switch, it's not if you're just aggravating me and we need to talk things out. It's if we've talked and we've talked and we've talked and you hypothetically
In one ear goes out
don't,
the other.
yeah, nothing changes. Because, I mean, personally, the people that I've been with have never really offered an apology either, but it doesn't matter if you apologize if you don't change.
It's too late to apologize.
But yeah, if you don't change the action that caused the problem in the first place, the sorry is just as empty, so, but yeah.
We're winning so far.
Occasionally fucks me. Time you know just how I feel. Since you threw me away forever. Time you start growing up. Age is nothing if you're not evolved. Yeah, I didn't have time for this, but I still gave it my...
Did you say age is nothing if you're not in love?
If you don't evolve.
Oh.
Which I like. Like, maturity does not come with age.
True.
Some people think that it does. Like, they try and use their age as a way to force respect or whatnot. And it's like, you're just a bully now, as well as probably back then.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I didn't have time for this, but I still gave you my all. I sacrificed blood for you. I sacrificed blood. Write this shit in your notebook.
She says I sacrifice blood.
Just, right?
It is time to sacrifice
Right. His blood.
his blood.
Yeah.
There's your horror moment of the day.
I sacrificed blood. Write this shit in your notebook, baby. Since you never wrote love letters to me. Don't forget all the things I've taught you. You'll need it for someone who isn't me, ain't me.
has such fun beats.
I had a lot of fun with that. So, again, it is basically a song of her basically writing a letter to him, being like, "Hey, these are all the things that you did I didn't like."
It sounds like a Dear John letter.
And go.
Yeah, it's a Dear John letter basically, but she's also telling him to write in his notebook.
Like, take notes.
And I kind of feel like when she was saying you touch your computer more than me, like maybe he was kind of nerdy and had to take notes on shit.
True.
She's like, you never wrote me love letters, so you may as well.
Look, to be fair, I've written her like one love letter since we've been together.
Like two,
Maybe.
2, 3. But like serious love poem letter, like not.
No, okay. So I wrote that poem.
Right. That you didn't finish until Valentine's Day, though.
I didn't. So
that was in 2 parts.
Well, yes and no. So I actually
it was more than 2 parts.
It was a poem I had written her. I basically sent you like a stanza a day.
Right.
For so many days.
It was like 4 or 5 different times, and then finished it.
And then I had the last stanza written on her
Valentine's Day card. Last
2 years ago.
Yeah. Year and a half. Something like that, yeah. Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. But, and then I stuck a piece of tape to her cigarette carton, actually last week.
Yeah.
That said I love you. But
yeah. It was a nice little find.
It was. I've never personally been big on doing things like that all the time. I feel like there's a point where it becomes too cheesy.
Well, it becomes routine is kind of what it becomes. It's like not... Yeah.
Because, again, I have seen couples that do.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be together 4 or 5 years.
And they're constantly...
And they're constantly, like, leaving notes in cute places.
Hey, you know, if it works for you, it works for you. But
yeah, it's just... Yeah.
At some point, I'd be like, really? Really? I needed that mug for my coffee. I did not need shit to spill out. Like...
Well, it's also just how my mind works, guys. Like, you have no idea how many times I'll think about doing something, and it doesn't take hardly anything at all to get me to completely forget about what I was just thinking about.
You have some serious ADD.
Like, I could sit here, and her and I could be having a conversation, and I could think about doing something, and as soon as I will walk out the room, I will walk back in. Like, it's a complete turnaround, come back and be like, I don't remember what I was doing.
Yeah, well...
I forget people's names that I talk to daily. That's scary.
Oh, I do that too.
I've looked at coworkers and been like,
I'll forget names, but if I speak to them often enough, like, I'll remember the smallest, most obscure shit that they mentioned and be able to bring it up 3 years later. Won't remember their name after working with them for 2 years. It's like my brain has a blank. So, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I like the song. It sounds fun. I kind of both agree and disagree with the message. And I only say that because it sounds like these two, whoever she was with in this song, storyline-wise, were probably just not meant to be together.
Right.
Because it's obvious they have vastly different, like, just differences.
Well, they have vastly different love languages, and it honestly doesn't sound like it's love.
No. It actually sounds like it was probably more of, at least in the song, a relationship of convenience.
Well, and one that was heavily lopsided in terms of her
putting in all her all, and him just kind of being his distant self.
Just doing him.
Right.
Like, not even,
Not even doing her, just doing him. Wait. I can do it myself.
Right? It's the computer.
But again, I can also relate as a person who has learned from relationship to relationship how to better treat women. That, like, that's just something that's going to happen.
Right.
It's...
I can relate to this in terms of having been in positions like this where I'm writing the Dear John letter in my head, you know, like, we're done. You obviously aren't as invested in this. I'm not there now. But again, Melanie Martinez, like, all of her stuff is fun.
There's also a fun little saying that I used to talk about in terms of relationships and why mine always soured in the past. Is I always felt like men seem to get into relationships with women because of who they are. They like who they are. And they don't want them to change. But in a lot of those same cases, the women getting into relationships with men, they may like who they are now, but hope they change to be a specific thing in the future. But men rarely change, and women typically do change quicker than men.
Right.
So I feel like, I'm at a point now where, like, I'm who I'm going to be.
Right.
I have changed a lot since I was younger.
Right.
But I do feel like that is something that happens a lot. Men, honestly, don't mature
Real quick.
as quickly as women.
Yeah. I think I agree with you to a certain extent. It's just not on a personal level, because I'm definitely a person that will jump in to try and help someone fix a situation if they ask for it.
Right.
I have never been the fixer in terms of I see somebody and go, I need to fix that person. Let's get in a relationship with them. I always get in a relationship with them for not great reasons necessarily, other than just like pure attraction on some level. Some interests in common, whatnot. But the relationships that I've been in, it has been, I'm not what they want.
Right.
And I think most of that comes when they finally take the time to get to know me. Because like I said, being an introvert and more on the observer side of things, they didn't necessarily know what they were getting into, because it's not like I was a completely open book to them or anything. And then when they got to know me, and I have very strong opinions, and I've actually had more than one boyfriend complain about my intelligence level being too smart. And it sounds pretentious, or this, that, or like if you pop out facts about this, or if you want to deep dive on that subject, it just makes you sound, excuse me? Yeah, I've always been the one that they want to change. And
Their loss.
Yeah. So
My game.
But again, it was a process for me to finally just be like, well, fuck it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Nobody likes me for who I am anyway, so I'm just gonna be me, and nobody can like me. I'm cool with that.
I'm not gonna lie. This is the first relationship I've ever been in where I actually feel challenged mentally, and I like it.
Me too.
As opposed to always feeling like I'm the only person knowing what the fuck's going on.
That's kind of almost sad to say because of the distractibility levels that both of us have, like me with the fibro and fibro fog, and you with your ADD. But on the other hand, having shared interests, but also having taken different routes to get there, and therefore knowing different facts about the interests.
Right.
It's an interesting exchange of things, and I'm never bored. That's for sure. And if I want to discuss a topic with you, you're willing to sit there and discuss it with me.
No matter how ignorant of said topic I am.
Right. A lot of times you'll actually do a little bit of research afterwards too, or during, dependent. If we have the books, Google whatnot, and chime in. So
right.
There is that. Anyway, all of that goes to show everybody learns from bad relationships. Well, hopefully.
One way or the other.
Yeah. And eventually you can find your partner if you keep looking. Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. There's one more in there. Don't let me forget that.
Okay.
So with that being said, if you guys like the video, this long video.
Sorry. We digress.
Slash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Comment down below what did you think of Melanie Martinez's notebook. Also comment down below if there's anything else you guys want to see react to. Our Melanie Martinez fans. Do not worry.
We're doing this whole EP.
We're finishing this entire EP within the next week and a half. 2 weeks.
Right.
Maybe.
In order. So
in order.
You don't have to request after school EP. Push our buttons. Come
Also,
join us
comment down
on
below
our
if there's
social
anything-
media platforms.
Do all the things.
Yeah.
Push all the buttons. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we love you guys. Thank you all for watching. Cannot wait to see you depraved people later. Peace.